Today, I'm also pleased to announce that I will soon sign an executive order establishing a national commission to promote patriotic education. It will be called the 1776 Commission. Thank you. It will encourage our educators to teach our children about the miracle of American history and make plans to honor the 250th anniversary of our founding. Think of that, 250 years.
So that was Donald Trump from earlier this afternoon announcing the formation of the 1776 Commission, which is supposedly going to bring to American children patriotic education, patriotic history, which is going to teach them the truth that their country is and has always been the greatest nation, is and has always been the good guy, is and has always been dedicated to freedom and liberty and equality and opportunity. And this is an antidote to the 1619 Project, to Howard Zinn, and to the left, who have been teaching kids to hate their country, to be ashamed of it, to supposedly hate their ancestors, and so on. And so this is rooted in recent attacks by Trump, by Tom Cotton, and others to basically censor American history. Because on the one hand, what they're trying to do here is redesign history education, redesign social sciences and humanities to basically, from public schools, cut anything that isn't patriotic from the education, but they've also tried to ban things. Tom Cotton and Donald Trump, either through executive orders or through legislation, have talked about using their power to basically take any federal funding away from a school that uses the 1619 Project, which is basically a project that talks about the centrality of slavery and anti-black, inequality in the United States is central to the country. If you teach anything from that project, you'll lose your funding, 100%. Every federal bit of funding you get, you'll lose it. And that's essentially censoring. This is the party of small government. This is the party of states' rights. This is the party of, the little guy getting out of the yoke of the big state. And they, from Washington, want to fundamentally redesign American education in a way that fundamentally teaches lies. Because the truth is whatever is patriotic. That's the truth. The truth is not what's real, which in some cases maybe America is the good guy, and others, I would say the majority of cases, they're the bad guy. That's the truth, which can have elements of patriotism in it. But patriotic history, patriotic education is state propaganda that, in other contexts, Donald Trump would say belongs in Venezuela or in North Korea or in the former Soviet Union or what have you. It's absurd. It's absolutely absurd. Here's the deal about history, and I am a professional historian. I have a PhD in history. I've taught multiple courses at the university level. I've written peer-reviewed books and articles. I know history, and what I know about it is there's no such thing as patriotic history. There's just history. There's no such thing really as anti-patriotic history. A historian should do the best they can, the best she or he can, to produce a history that accurately reflects the scenario. Now, everyone has biases, and there are historians that have conservative or liberal or socialist biases, and that's the reality. And there's nothing wrong with that either. But to suggest that you need to tailor your public school education to be patriotic is wrong. It's 100% wrong, because there are times in American history, but especially in the far past, but even in the recent past, even today, where America does things and has done things that shouldn't make people feel patriotic. And it's not patriotism to lie unconditionally for your country. In my mind, to the extent that public education should be patriotic, it should try to embrace the values the country supposedly was built on, but has often not lived up to. If you are going to do patriotic history, Like, if that's your goal and you're actually going to do it and not make it patriotic propaganda, your goal would be to say, here are the values the United States was hypothetically founded on. And here's how we have never achieved those, ever, or even ever really gotten close. We've never gotten close to equality. We've never gotten close to liberty. We've never gotten close to freedom. We've never gotten close to any of that in the United States. But here's the path we've taken, and here's what we can do to get there. That's patriotic. To make real the American dream that for 99% of people, for every woman, for every person of color, but indeed most white men of the working classes, has never got to enjoy. The American dream of actual freedom and equality and prosperity and opportunity. They've just never really had it. Never. Not as long as there's deep inequality in a country like this. So, fundamentally, if you want to build a patriotic education, I think, ironically as it is because I reject it, it would have to be a left-leaning education. But certainly, Donald Trump's approach to basically retool the entirety of education is deeply troubling. It's Donald Trump basically saying there's two kinds of history. There's the patriotic, truthful history, and then there's the divisive, leftist, fake history. And he wants to take the next generation of children and give them that dichotomy. But I have to say that while no one strand of history is perfect or fully authoritative, if you have to give me the two solitudes and say on the one hand that, there's this right-wing narrative of history where America has always been the good guy, and then this supposedly left-wing vision, which I don't really think exists, which is that America is uniquely bad and you should hate yourself for being American, frankly, the latter is more correct than the former.